Hello, guys, gals, and non binary pals, and welcome back to the Fey Realm. I have been out of commission for a little while because birthday stuff, but we are back with all of the madcap crew going on here. And, Sam, you have been cackling maniacally for the last week. I'm going to pass it over to you so you can inflict things upon us.
I've been cackling maniacally for the last 2 weeks.
Maniacally for months, realistically.
True fact, true fact. I don't think I have anything to tell the chat. Chat, you know how this works. You can talk to the players by way of one of the players. If you need to convey something to any character, you can say it to GlitchAngle, and maybe she'll report it on to everyone else. Or maybe she won't. I don't know. GlitchAngle is going to be distracted this session, perhaps. With that in mind, I want to get this thing started right off the bat. I'm going to drop some knowledge, and then we're going to get into Lore's mind specifically. What's my music? This is my music for today. Boom, something like this. Uh, like magnets, polarized to attract and then to repel. Two trains shoot off into the darkness, one east, one west, as if the 90 seconds of their meeting had generated an electricity that they now hold, desperate to discharge. For the people on those trains, those who yet live, at any rate, those 90 seconds will change everything forever. Already, you begin to feel those memories close, crystallize into experience, your skills and instincts hardening around what just happened. They leveled up, chat. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's zoom in on Lorelei Mortimer. Lore, you are on a second Sivarat, heading east to Wokeland. You are soaked in sweat and speckled with blood that is not your own. Your coat is tattered from gunfire, but you find that you are otherwise uninjured. One bench seat on the car that you are now on is occupied by a fresh corpse. Corpo took a stray bullet. Another passenger cowers on the floor nearby. What's going through your head right now? Give us a bit of a recap, and then tell
Oh,
me what's your instinct in this moment.
sure. So our recap. We rolled up into the Treasure Island stop. Vale did what Vale was supposed to do and got the doors open. What we didn't expect was a firefight. That turned kind of um intense. We fought some guards. I got mine off onto the platform, turned to look at the car that had been blocked, and a woman ran out, handed me a briefcase, and went, "Don't let them bury it," and then died. Yay! Shot by a headless thing. Um, I, being the oh so clever one I am, decided to play switcheroo and throw the briefcase she gave me to my companions. They threw me a different one, and I became a distraction, which meant I got shot at twice. And ran for the other train. I don't know where my friends are going. They don't know where I'm going or what condition I'm really in right now. So, yeah, I am on a train heading back the way I came. Is there anybody alive from like the other side of the shootout in here?
On the car that you are on right now, at any rate, no. There are two
Okay.
passengers here, no security guards. There was a group of other people, neither security guards nor headless, but someone named Hessians, and I'm just gonna roll with that because I think
Yeah.
it's awesome. Oh yeah, a reminder that I will never look at the chat, so if anything cool happens in the chat, just tell me and I'll filter it in. Um, yeah, you're not seeing any security guards, you're not seeing any others, you're certainly not seeing any Hessians. You are seeing one terrified civilian and one former civilian.
Cool. I think I'm gonna take this moment to try and catch my breath. Uh, the civilian that's alive, grand. They're alive. Don't really care about the other one who's dead. Sorry about you. I think I'm going to try and move out of this car and go maybe a few cars down, uh, away from. I don't know where I'm going, but I don't want to. I can't sit still at this point. I think adrenaline is just going through my body.
Yeah, yeah. When the adrenaline's pumping, it's useful just to move, just to keep moving. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
ask you a question that's very loaded. Are you moving, when you say down, towards the front of the train or towards the back of the train?
I think she would have picked a direction and went so down towards
Is
the
that
front.
towards the
I think
Okay,
that's
cool, cool,
towards the
cool.
front.
Towards the front. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. You move up in the train. That is pointing you in the right direction for this. You go up a car. In the next car, there's a few more civilians chattering quietly amongst themselves, trying to figure out like what the fuck between them. They throw alarmed glances at you, but don't like jump up and try to attack you. Maybe two cars up from where you boarded the train. As you are entering it, there's someone entering from the other side. Two women entering from the other side. One large, very muscled woman, and a smaller woman, quite short behind her. The quite short one kind of leans up against the door that she came through, blocking your path forward. Muscles is just huffing towards you, like charging towards you, like moving towards you very quickly.
I run back.
Yeah. Yeah. You just like turn around and go back in. Uh Roll dice about it. She's gonna try to like chase you down. There's no
Oh,
really way to
good.
escape.
Nope. Nope.
There's just cars.
Yeah.
Cars as you go back. The door has just sort of sealed itself, so you gotta pull it open again. Maybe some strength and a skill. You tell me the skill.
Let's see. Would it be exert?
Exert sounds right.
Okay. 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 Cool. 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 I have to remember how to do this again.
2d6.
2d6. I don't think that's the right word to roll. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. Did that do the thing? 6 plus 2, 8.
8. 8 is a basic success. You haul open the door and pull yourself through it and continue to go back up the train. As the door is closing behind you, you hear the voice of the woman who's chasing you say, "Who the fuck are you, and what did you do?"
I'm gonna yell back, nobody didn't do anything.
Yeah, so she's pursuing you. You are going at roughly the same speed as she is. There are 5 cars back behind you in this train, 4 cars back behind you in this train, 2 forward the direction that she came from. You're gonna run up train before this train gets to Wokeland.
Yeah, I'm I'm gonna try and slow her down and just hard throw this briefcase that I haven't let go into her face.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, I'm into it. I think this is technically an attack roll, so could you give me a attack roll with a briefcase,
Oh,
please?
sure, that's a D20, right?
This is a 20-sided die.
Great, 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 great. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do I add anything to that?
What are you adding? You're adding let's say
Briefcase.
that right, this is not a skill necessarily. Briefcase attack roll, so I would say just add your dex and +1 because your base attack bonus now that you've leveled up is 1. Your hit
Sure.
bonus is +1.
11.
11. So it becomes clear to you that this muscle-bound woman who's been chasing you is wearing some light armor, you think like street leathers. She has the appearance not of a corpo, not of a not of a ganger, but something that's neither, somewhere between those two. A little bit more professional than a ganger, a little bit less uniform than a corpo. Um, you have thrown the briefcase in her face. It will open. Various electronic devices will come flying out, dongles, maybe some Z chips, a small amount of money. She will brush that all aside. It hasn't dealt her damage, it hasn't slowed her meaningfully. And she's saying to you, "I want answers, and you're gonna give them to me."
Am I? What do you think I could do? I'm still trying to like back away. I'm ready to try and brawl. She will fuck my shit up because I am not a muscle mommy like she is.
Yeah, that's the correct mental image. So let's say that you're standing on opposite ends of a Siva Rat car, perhaps the one that you boarded. You've been pushed back a couple of cars in this chase, so there's still one or two back to go if you want to. Um, this does seem to have the normal amount of cars. There seem to be 6 cars in this train.
Great.
No special bonus car. Make of that what you will. You're in one side, she's on the other side. There is a cowering civilian and a corpse between the two of you. Uh, and she is saying, "You set us up? You sold us out? Are you with them?"
Hold up. Who do you think I am?
She'll look at you.
Who am I possibly with?
"I don't know. You're with whoever fucked up our mission."
And your mission was?
At this point, she's eyeing you a little bit more suspiciously. She's calmed down a bit. The smaller girl has made it in as well, and is again leaning up against the inside of the door. The larger one will say, "What are you doing here?" "No, I'm asking questions. You're not asking questions. I'm asking questions. What are you doing here?"
I am just a civilian that was on her way to work. And then we stopped on Treasure Island, which is not a thing that's ever happened, and shooting was happened, and I ran, and now I'm on this one, not technically going to work because I was on the other train.
Okay, one civilian bullshit.
Rude.
I saw you come across that platform. I saw you throw that briefcase. You're not a civilian. So let's start this over.
Okay.
You were on that train for a reason. You weren't going to work at 10:20 at night. What's your deal?
I will repeat what I said. I am a civilian. I was going to work. Shooting happened. The whole shebang.
She'll take a few steps forward as you're repeating it. You can give me, I guess, a charisma talk roll to see if you can pull off this lie.
Okay. Charisma talk. Well, where is my talk? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine, guys. We're fine. 13, baby.
You are fine. You are essentially fine. You will see her visibly calm down. You can see now that the adrenaline that you're feeling, she was feeling too, right? Like all of the, you can almost hear her heartbeat slowing as she stands across the room from you. She's gripped onto one of the bars. Her grip loosens a bit. She'll say, "Okay, okay. Your train stopped too. Did you see anyone suspicious on your train?"
I saw a person run out after I ran out, hand me a thing. I decided I did not want that thing, so I threw it. And there was a headless thing that shot the lady in front of me.
Yeah. We saw the fucking headless things.
So I want you to know that I am not headless, so obviously I'm not with them.
Yeah, we didn't worry that you were with them. We worried that you were fucking with Ez. And then the girl, the smaller woman behind will be like,
Motherfucker, are you kidding me? Hold on. You know Ez.
The smaller woman behind will take a few steps forward, place a hand up on the shoulder of the larger woman, and say, "That was maybe not a phrase that we should have used, yes?"
Can I text Ez real quick?
Yeah, what are you texting Ez?
What the fuck?
Yeah, Ez isn't responding.
This bitch.
The smaller woman will say, "We do not necessarily know someone named Ez, but if we did know someone named Ez, How do you know someone named Ez? Let us presume that there is a person named Ed Munoz that exists in this
Oh, you
environment that we
use
find
full
ourselves in.
name, huh?
Friend of yours?
Not for much longer.
Uh, you will see the small woman sort of squint in recognition of that. Uh, she will say, I think we would say the same. At this point, you have come out from underneath the tunnel
Hmm.
under the bay. You know that there is maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes before you pull into Wokeland Station and have a vector of escape if you want one.
You tell me what you were doing here, and I will tell you what I was doing here.
No, 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 no. You tell me, and then I tell you. It goes that way, says the large woman. The small woman, you did get a 12 on that. The small woman will put a hand on her shoulder again and say, Trust. It's all about trust, G. And she will say, We were on a job. We were supposed
Okay.
to stop a train. We stopped a train. What were you doing here?
I was also on a job to stop a train. I stopped a train.
Well, I don't think we're enemies then.
Maybe only against one specific person.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Apologies for the internet going boop for a moment there. Still not quite sure what happened. Router's reset. We'll see if it holds out for the rest of the night. While we're in this brief moment of breath, thank you so much, Duke Fleeg and Pixel Rose, for the 500 bytes each. We now have 2 consumables for the players. And thank you all so much for returning. Pass it back to Sam and DB as DB was about to get her face kicked in.
Imagine a world, a dystopia, where all the internet is controlled by 3 corporations who can. At any rate, meanwhile, back in this game, where we had left off, uh, somewhere around the train re-emerging from the tunnel and a conversation happening around a personage known as Ez Munoz and what are potential vectors of enmity or alliance might be. There are 2 women in the room with Lore and some civilians, a civilian and a corpse, but we will ignore them for now and focus on the 2 women in the room. One large, muscled, previously chasing Lore through the train. The other smaller, very casual, both wearing outfits that resemble not so much corpos, not so much gangers, but something closer to what you are. We'll call them operators. Um, the woman who is larger and more muscled has said to you, Lore, what were you doing on that train? Actually, it was the smaller one, come to think. Mm.
Mm.
What were you doing? Well, you show us yours. We were here to stop this train.
I was also there to stop a train.
I am not sure, then, that we need to be enemies.
That is yet to be determined, as you did chase me through a train.
The larger woman agrees with you that she is not sure that you're not enemies yet. She'll say, "We don't know that she's not part of the reason why this whole operation got borked beyond relief."
Was your only instruction to stop the train?
Stop the train, open the doors. 90 seconds.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Same.
Don't you love it when you have a whole mission and no context to go on?
Oh, what's my favorite thing to do? It's a pastime on a Wednesday.
At this point, the train is rolling into the station. The larger woman is saying, if you want to split, I won't stop you from splitting. But if you want to talk more, why don't we walk up the train all casual like, and the people in our crew whose job it is to do the, flap jaw talking can ask you questions better than we can.
Fine.
Nice.
Let's
And you
let's
make
talk.
your way up the train. And we'll cut to a different person. The rest of you, your train, the recycled air smelling more and more of sweat and death, pulls into Embark Station, 90 seconds behind schedule. Uh, we have sort of prearranged, I'm explaining this for the sake of the chat, that the group is going to split up, go to ground, regroup as individuals before convening again the next day. So I'm just gonna go one by one and get a sense of who's doing what in the immediate aftermath of this, unless there's any conversation that you guys like really, really want to do before splitting it up.
Before I go, I want to make sure to get
Yeah.
Gavin's fob back from Vale.
Nice. You can do that, and let's stick with you, Eve. What's running through your head right now? And yeah, what's your instinct? What are you gonna do in these hours after, as the adrenaline drains from your body?
Yeah. So, I wrote it down, so I'm just gonna read what I wrote down.
Hit me.
What the hell was that? This was not the job. Stop the train. 1 minute. Don't draw attention. Why did Laura run the other way? Was she shot? What did she look like? There was blood, but was it hers? Oh my god, that woman. She was shot. She's dead. Absolutely dead. Totally dead. Okay. Briefcase. Where's the briefcase? What's in the briefcase? Okay, no, too much attention. I did not want this. This is not the job. Stop the train. 1 minute. That's it. Okay. 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 And then exiting the train and just she's just gonna walk down the street.
Yeah.
Just trying to step away from not draw too much attention to the group. Go separate ways like we initially decided to do, and just kind of running that over in her head.
Yeah, absolutely. You exit at Embark Station, make your way up from the bowels of downtown into the area lower intestine. I don't know, the area slightly above the bowels of downtown. As you walk through the streets, you see the familiar sights, a glowing fog like a ceiling overhead, 20, 30 feet up, neon lights trying to pierce through it. Somewhere above that, nebulously, there must be a sky. From time to time, you get a chance to see it, but certainly not on a night like tonight. I want to introduce a new rule you've given me an opportunity to. Which is called the danger die. And the danger die works like this. When you are in a part of town, what you should not be in, acting conspicuously, standing out in some way, I'm going to make you roll a die. The die that I'm going to make you roll is different depending upon what part of town you're in. Downtown in Silcent is the safest place that there is. The danger die is a d8. If you roll a 1 on the danger die, you have encountered danger. Someone stops you. Depends upon what part of town you're in, who that's going to be. The smaller the die, the more likely you are to encounter danger. You've been seen on a very popular live stream. Would you roll a d8 for me for the danger die?
Yes, I will.
How funny would it be if the first time this rolled?
I would love it. I welcome it. 3.
You walk safely down the streets.
Damn
only
it.
if it's a 1. In downtown, there is only a 1 in 8 chance of arbitrary random encounter style danger. There may yet be other dangers, of course. As you wander through the streets, you do feel as if the eyes of the district, the eyes of downtown are on you, as if a band-aid has been torn off of your relative anonymity, for better or for worse. You have been seen. The people who have watched GlitchAngle's stream, the people who have watched other people's streams of GlitchAngle's stream, they are now at least to some degree familiar with you. But you are not accosted, not this evening.
Okay. I think Eve is not happy about that. At all. That they rely on the anonymity for their business. In both veins of their business. So I think there's a they're not too far from where they live in Vanstown, so I think they would head up that way.
Great. You are able to make it home safely. Um, there is no one standing outside your door. No one seems to have traced from your face like to where you live or anything as horrifying as that. So, what's your place like in Vanstown?
It's unassuming. It looks very normal on the outside. I think the business is all word of mouth and usually outside of their home. So their home is their own kind of sacred space.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is small but middle class, at least as long as you have money to pay for the middle class lifestyle. You make your way up the staircase that leads to a hallway that leads to another staircase that leads to your, maybe 3 room or something apartment looking
Yeah.
down over the slightly quieter part of the city that is Vanstown. And the night passes without event. We'll come back around as well, but I want to hit Abe. How are you feeling as you get off that train?
Not good. Not good at all. And I know the initial plan was to disperse as soon as we hit Embark Station. But no, Abe's gonna get right alongside Vale. So is this how you people operate? Like one of your own gets left behind and you just fuck off, or are we gonna do
Yeah,
something about?
you fuck off and you take care of yourself. So take care of yourself, and Vale's gonna run.
All right.
Huh.
So, given all that,
I just picture you just like watching Vale run down the street, being like, "Ah, fuck."
yeah, that's basically it. Well, that's not how Abe does things, right?
Uh-huh.
So knowing that there's a soldier left behind, how easy would it be to get on an eastbound train, given current circumstances?
Pretty easy, at least so far, right? Like you don't have to exit the station. It seems if you don't exit the station, your dongle isn't checked again. You can just hang around and wait for another train to come. Is that the play?
That is the play. I do have the dongle
Uh,
that I had
yeah.
received from that train attendant in the first session. So beat me in, Bob.
All right, I gotta know if anyone else is hanging around the station because whoever is gonna see a thing, and whoever isn't. So Glitch and Vale's already run off. Glitch, you're gonna hang around the station here?
I don't think so. I think that Glitch is well aware. The stream is still going. So she is getting away from the train station and away from the others as quickly as she can, maintaining a stream of lighthearted banter with the whole, well, that was very exciting, wasn't it? I'm entirely not sure what exactly is going on, but I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Tune in next time. All that sort of inane chatter. So she's gone.
Yeah. So you're down there by yourself, Abe, and a few minutes pass. Maybe maybe 180 seconds at most down here, before you start seeing an enhanced security presence in the station. This is normal, like corpo train sec, right? Running down the stairs. All trains are canceled. Like up on the flashing signs, trains going back there, they were canceled. It looks like they are trying to move people unceremoniously out of the station. Your guy isn't working here, but one of the people will look to you and be like, "Sir, you have to leave. There's been an incident on the track."
Abe complies.
He'll sit. Yeah, he won't interact with you more. He'll just shuffle you onto the escalator that leads out.
Okay. So exiting the station. And now that he's being a little more, rational about things, he doesn't know how any of this technology works, and Lorelei's probably clear across the bay at this point. So failing that, I guess, God, I guess the only thing left to do is try to return this dongle thing to its rightful owner.
Yeah, you know, I think I said he was going to be back like tomorrow or something. He's not stationed here right now. Certainly you know where his little booth is. You could just leave it if you want to, or if you want to meet with your guy again. You know when he'll be back, Garrison.
Okay. So in this world, right? I know everyone probably watches streams and such, VODs, etc., through their own cyberware, but are there like the equivalent of like internet bars or cafes here?
Yeah, very much so, right? Like you could walk downtown. You could find imagine a sports bar, screens lined up in rows, but instead of displaying different sports, different popular streamers.
Okay, very good. Is there a way to find maybe GlitchAngle's channel?
Yeah, you want to give me a roll of some kind. Let's call it wisdom for finding the right place and connect. If you got a better skill, you could pitch it to me.
Works for me. And that's a 2d6, right? Two.
That's the one.
Yeah, there you go. Haha. Plus wisdom, minus no. 11?
Strong. You walk up and down the street. Most of these stream bars seem to be displaying extremely corporatized influencers. People who you don't really know the geography of the megacorps here yet, but like they all seem to be pitching products as if they actually care about them, but to your eye, it's clearly just some sort of sponsored shit. Um, Eventually, you find one around a corner, down an alley, a little bit more fucked up kind of institution. The screens are flickering, like the electricity isn't quite right in here, and one of them one of the screens is off, like not displaying anything right now. And there's a group of people around talking, and you hear GlitchAngle's name mentioned multiple times, talking about recent events.
Alrighty. Abe approaches the group of people chattering about GlitchAngle.
Holy fuck! Holy fuck! You're the guy. You're the fucking guy.
I don't. There are a lot. City's full of guys, you know.
One of them will point at the blank screen as if that were to mean something to you, and be like, "We literally, you're a fucking hero. Get him a drink. Get him a fucking drink." And like, a drink has been presented to you. Everyone's like, you shot the headless horseman. You shot him.
Yeah, for all the good that did.
Yeah, but you shot him. It was awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
You were like, fucking yeah, and you pulled out your gun. They start like doing bad you impersonations.
I do a bad me impersonation.
They're like, yeah, and then you were like, get down, kid. Ah.
Yeah, that does sound like something that I would do. Hey, listen, you know how these thingamajiggers work. I need to look at all the footage that GlitchAngle had recorded. I need to find anything to be useful right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a stream. There'll be a VOD later. But fuck, I was recording on my thing, and someone will pull out like a smartphone, but not really a smartphone because it's not that technology, but just like a handheld recording device. If you want to watch like my granny ass footage of that awesome footage, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, let's do that, kid.
Yeah, and they'll play it again. As they're doing that situational awareness, you see that the bartender, who's also, it seems like part-time the stream jockey putting various things up in the screens, is sort of tapping his computer a couple of times, but shakes his head. Some other stream goes up where GlitchAngles had been. And you're able to watch all that footage again. Is there something specifically that you're looking for?
Any distinguishing marks on any of the clothing or uniforms that three separate parties who were present at the train station were during the shootout?
You're able to see, yeah, more clearly now, right? There were the Headless who were on the platform, seemed to be there at the start. There was the the train security from both trains that sort of mindlessly got into the fray and mostly got slaughtered. And then there was a group of not really uniformed. The word mercenary springs into your mind. You're a military guy who charged off the other train, tried to make it towards your train, and were by and large slaughtered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, kid. Uh, do you know anything about these folks over here, the ones with the heads?
I don't know anything. That's what's so great about it. It's all a fucking mystery. This is rad. You're the one who's supposed to know something, he'll say.
Well, I know that this isn't quite home anymore.
What?
Nothing, just an old guy saying old guy things.
Yeah, that's what makes you so awesome. Can I have your autograph?
Yeah, sure. You got a pen?
A what?
Do you have something that I could sign?
Oh no. He'll be like, here's what you gotta do. He'll take up the little recording device again and be like, you smile and pose, right? And then all you gotta do is like that's the photo part, and then the autograph part, so that I know it's actually you, is that you give me like a fingerprint or something.
Huh. All right, fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. He'll take the picture. He'll take the print. That's rad. Oh my God. I've got this guy's. I don't know if you never. Yeah, you gotta. I don't think you ever said Abe's name on the stream, right?
Nope. Sorry, we had
That'd be
code
like-
names.
That's right. But your code name was Abe, wasn't it?
There was no cause for anyone to say it.
Yeah. He'll be like, "What's your name, old timer?"
Whoa, hold on. So this is a question for God. One of my foci, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
is unregistered, and I believe part
That's
of the
true.
lore of that, the lore. I
Uh-huh.
believe part of the flavor text said that I don't show up in electronic databases, and if like any of that information, somebody attempts to capture that, it just doesn't.
That's
So-
true. That's not lore. That's hard rules. Yeah. You as he takes your fingerprint, he'll sort of furrow his brow and be like, I don't think it took. Could I get another one?
Yeah, sure, kid.
He'll try another like two or three times, be like, gotta get an upgrade. Okay, well it's still a really cool picture. And I'm gonna tell people that I know, the old man. That's what we're calling you, because no one knows what your name is. We're just calling you the old man.
Here, no, well, plenty of old men in the city. How about you call me Ronan?
I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess. I like the old man, but if I'll
How about
I'll
old
see
man?
how it I'll see how the chat likes it. I'll
Okay.
see how the chat likes it. Um, and he'll shuffle away. He didn't give you good information about any of your questions, but I do want you to give me a roll that's probably wisdom and notice, because there's something to be gleaned out of here.
2d6. Oh, fuck yeah, let's go. That's 12 plus 3 is 15, minus 1 is 14.
All right. This part maybe goes without saying, but a 14 gives it to you anyway. The boots, the sort of jack boots that the suited um the headless beings, the Hessians, whatever we want to call them. Those boots do match the footprints that were spotted earlier in the station before you were here on the earlier reel. That's one thing. A different thing is I said that by and large the mercenaries were slaughtered. That's mostly true. The mercenaries seem to be pretty heavily chromed up. If they have one uniform trait between them, it's that they've got a lot of like cyber limbs, cyber eyes, kind of lore-like actually. One of them did make it out and boarded the same train Lore did, on the very back of the train, the last car.
Okay, so Abe is still seated at the bar slash streaming hub, whatever you want to call it. Still has his
Yeah.
drink. And saying to nobody in particular, he clinks the glass in front of him and says, I'm not going to let them do to her what they did to you, Jack. Promise.
Yeah. We'll fade out from there, and we'll spin it around to Vale. Vale, you have just run down the street. What's going through your head? Yeah, give me the whole setup here.
I think right now, I think all it is Vale knows that by their own standards, they failed. That went not as badly as it could have, but it definitely didn't go the way it was supposed to. And also, I think Vale recognizes Vale has worked enough jobs for hire that they recognize when they've been had on not knowing full information.
Mm-hmm.
So Vale's only goal right now is to get as far away from everyone else as possible and try to regroup and see what they've still got to work with. So I
Nice.
think, honestly, let me look at a map real quick. I had a thought of this. No, okay, I think this works. I think Vale just goes darting out and is going to head for either the nearest anywhere that they know of where there might be a Jax setup,
Mm-hmm.
or if there is one closer, or if they know that the Jax maybe are going to be operating tonight, based on whatever knowledge they have, which I will let you determine.
Sure.
If they don't think they can find a Jax location easily, they are going to look for somebody who is at least neutral about them from Frogger Scratch, because they know Frogger Scratch
Ooh.
operates out of this area. And
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is not normally like we're far from Jack's turf. There's a body of water separating you from that.
Yes.
There might be some Jacks around. If you want to roll, int connect to see if you can find that, I would allow that. Frog or Scratch, you can find no problem if that's what you want to do.
I think Vale is of two minds, because Jax is going to get them a ride and some drugs, but Frogger Scratch is going to get them information. I think because because it's home territory, I think I'm going to try to find somebody who is at least moderately friendly toward me specifically. It may be an individual, not the group as a whole, but if I know of somebody who I might be able to find for Frogger Scratch, I'm going to look for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Frogger Scratch is a gang of hackers, essentially. You have a fair amount of contact and I would imagine professional rivalries with them, but
I think that there's probably a level of maybe there have been overtures of recruitment multiple times, but because I keep turning them down, but I'll take higher jobs. So there's a little bit of like, some people are cool with that and some people aren't.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you don't have the like I know a guy's skills, so let me still have you roll a connect and int. You're gonna find a guy. The connect and int is if you actually know that he's on good terms with you, or if you think that he's on good terms with you and he actually hates your fucking guts.
Right. Connect int. Okay. That is a 10 plus 1 for my int for an 11.
Okay, yeah, you're solidly good there.
Great.
Yeah, there's this guy. So in downtown, there is a number of big spaces that you're given to understand at some point in the mythic past used to be like shops sort of lined up in rows, orgies of consumerism, story upon story upon story, vast clothing stores, theaters, all of that's fucking gone now. They're like hive warrens filled with people who just live there. They're not really set up to be personal quarters. Like there's bathrooms, but they're big bathrooms at the end of the hall. Multiple like of these tiny houses, all in these gigantic malls, using the same restroom, standing in huge lines out of it. You know this guy who lives on the bottom floor in the rattiest corner of this place. Like all hackers, he's given himself a ridiculous name. He calls himself Lord Inature.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Is there anything I need to do specifically to get access to this sort of hive of scum and villainy, or do I just have to get in and then find my guy?
You just gotta get in and find your guy. I will have you roll a danger die because you're not from around here.
I am not. Is that a D8 still here?
D8 for downtown, yeah.
survive.
We're fine. We're fine. You walk in. It's late. People are asleep or doing drugs. There's not a lot between that. You hear various, let's say, domestic sounds echoing from odd corners. But you make your way down the stairs through this hive, not even scum and villainy, just this hive of sweat and flesh, until you find the weird shop that is occupied by a handful of people, partitioned by curtains, and in the back, just a huge computer setup, wires going up into the walls and down into the ground. You see a person who's probably around your age, fleshy, uplit by the computer in front of him, clicking, clacking away at it. He'll look up at you bleary-eyed and be like, well, well, well.
Hey, what you been monitoring tonight?
Come in, come in, come in.
Yeah.
Everything's fucked. That's what I've been monitoring tonight. Everything's fucked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anything in particular stand out?
Oh, he will turn a screen around at you, just numbers shooting up and down, 100 different windows all doing their own things. Yeah, much like your brain. He'll say, well, the Siva rats shut down.
Yeah.
Totally
yeah,
shut down. All lines, every direction.
Yeah, about that. Any chatter on the DL about why that happened? You pick up anything on your end?
I heard there was a very interesting stream. A very interesting stream indeed. I didn't see it. It was gone by the time I was there.
Yeah, interesting stream. Okay. Yeah. How hard would it be? What are you still how much scrubbing do you do these days? If I needed that stream to be kind of less available.
I wish that I was dishonest enough that I could ask you to hire me to do that.
Yeah.
It's been done.
It's been scrubbed by
Someone
you?
doesn't want that seem... No. By someone much bigger than me. Someone doesn't want that stream to be seen. Someone doesn't want that information to be out there.
Okay. Thanks. Do you have anybody who's okay, sorry, double question, because do you know I need to get back to the other side of the bay, and I just do you know anybody who's heading that way, or could you send a message for me? Sorry. Just a quick reminder for everyone that like currently the whites of Vale's eyes are like very bloodshot, and there's like a tiny bit of a nosebleed still happening, which Vale is completely ignoring.
Yeah. So too is Lord Nature. He's looking at you and just still doing his weird, eerie giggle thing.
Yeah.
He'll say, I will if you'll answer me. I'll do it as a favor to you if you answer
We
me a
don't need to do
question or
favors.
two.
We can do a trade. What do you want? What do you need to know? Do you want information? You want tech? You want drugs? What do you want?
There's only one question that's been bouncing around the nets related to this stream, which you seem so interested in.
Yeah.
Anytime anyone asks the question, it disappears, gone from the internet. I'm very good at seeing things, though. Very good indeed. What's in the briefcase?
You didn't see the stream then, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't see the stream. It was gone by the time I was seeing it. But everyone wants to know what's in the briefcase.
Vale's gonna lean in real close, like the equivalent of like leaning to like whisper into the ear and just go, if I knew what was in the briefcase, I'd also get scrubbed. Stop asking questions. Get me a ride out of here.
Of course. Of course. And he will move as if to call a drive on, realize that that's not the way that this is clearly going to go. Yeah, he'll see that expression start.
Yeah.
And what you will wind up with is a loner bicycle.
Vale will take it.
Yeah, and we'll leave you biking across the Bay Bridge.
Yep.
And we'll come back to that later. We gotta get down to GlitchAngle. Glitch, your numbers exploded, right, in the final minutes of that operation. As the goodbyes was going on, they were falling back down towards closer levels, but still much elevated from anything that you've ever numbers that you've gotten before. Um, as your body continues to tingle due to the proximity of the briefcase, what's going through your mind? What's the play?
So GlitchAngle is in full autopilot mode as far as like her mouth goes. She's just doing her usual sign-offs of responding to people who are talking to her, but doing it on such autopilot that she couldn't. If you held a gun to her head, she could not tell you what people were asking her in the stream. And all that's going through her head over and over again is, oh my god, that did not go the way it was supposed to. And yes, this is the voice that she has in her internal voice. That did not go the way that it was supposed to. What the fuck just happened? Why do I feel like I just swallowed a power main? And I just like looked down at the briefcase and in my hands, and then immediately jerked my head back up because I don't want the stream to. I look up before I actually see it because I don't want the stream to know that I'm the one who has it.
Yeah. And they did see it get thrown to you,
yes.
But certainly you could have ditched it afterwards. You were the last person seen with it.
Yes, and I do recognize that is the case, and that's just kind of what I gotta live with. But they're like, her brain is just going a mile a minute as she closes out the stream and immediately backs up the VOD on her internal, her own personal, external hard drive, basically. I don't have the words for what it would be in this world. And she wants to get home. She wants to find out the question that everyone on the internet is asking: what's in the briefcase?
Yeah, when we say home, where is home for you right now?
I had not decided where her little apartment would be. Someplace that's, relatively middle class without being noticeable.
Would you have wanted to be where the other influencers are, is I guess the question. Are you in the trendy part of town, or are you trying to keep a lower profile?
I think I'm on the outskirts of the trendy part of town.
Okay. Then you're in commission.
Okay.
That is the area where people are to be seen. That is where styles come from. That is where influencers are. That is also where Remainder is. That's where it's recruiting grounds for culture. But if you're on the outskirts, maybe back in closer towards downtown or to Vanstown, you can be a little bit distant from that.
Yeah, and I do want to try to take a little bit more of a circuitous route because I saw the numbers. I'm going to get recognized on the street, and I don't want that to happen right now when I'm holding this this briefcase. Later, I can bask in how wonderful that the numbers were. Maybe we'll see. But right now, it's full. What the fuck is in my hands?
Absolutely, you make your way the long way back home. I'm not going to make you roll because you are specifically trying to be surreptitious. You're sticking to the alleys. It takes a while to get home, but you eventually make it into your, I imagine, pretty well. Well, I don't know. When you're not for display, like, is it a well decorated? Is it gaudy or is it more utilitarian?
It's comfortable. So when GlitchAngle is at home and being, well, who she is when she isn't GlitchAngle, all of the lights turned off, the pretty clothes off, and in comfortable grummy clothes, it looks kind of like the inside of a hobbit hole. There's like piles of pillows in various corners, lots of blankets. Like, she is aiming for comfort over style here. Because this is her space. This is the one place where she doesn't have to be on display.
No one who saw this would look at this and be like, ah, yes, GlitchAngle lives here. Like, this is something else. As you enter into it, you are getting, by the way, pinged hundreds and hundreds of very ignorable direct messages, right?
Yeah.
Like, just fans, nothing rising above the level of people being like asking questions, indicating support. But there's been a lot of that on the way back in.
I am keeping an eye out for messages from two people in particular if those come through. I'm keeping an eye out for Darkside Light and Charles Bug.
Yes. Both of them were watching, I'm pretty sure. I need to remind myself who Dark Side Light was again.
Did not turn up in the in our little pre-scene, but
Yes. We're watching. Um, both of them were watching at various points. Neither of them are reaching out to you presently.
okay. I will like put a tag specifically on Charles Bug because if he reaches out, I want that to come through any like do not disturbs that I put up.
Yeah. For now, quiet from both of them. And you're left in your place with a briefcase.
I'm locking every lock that is on the door, propping a chair under the handle, making sure all the windows are like this is glitch angle in paranoid mode. Very
Mm-hmm.
different, I think, than anyone in the group has really seen from her. And once she is assured that that is all settled, the ridiculous platform boots kicked off carelessly in a corner. She's gonna sit down on her bed with this briefcase in front of her and see what she can see about it.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you some things right off the bat, and then you can explore this how you want to. It is clearly a high-tech piece of work and not doing a whole lot to disguise that. As you're looking at it, it's bulletproof, clearly. Um, it's got both a retinal scan and a fingerprint lock involved with the opening of it. And you're pretty sure that if you do those things and give the wrong answer, the briefcase will auto-destruct with everything in it.
There's a lot of very quiet swearing under her breath at that. Um, I'm not particularly the techie person. It's not my bag. Um, I will throw a line out in Vale's direction, knowing that I probably won't hear anything for some time before, or even before we all meet up again, to say what we picked up is a minefield. If you have any interest in finding out what it is. And that's it.
It's clear, I think, that Vale received it. Uh, as that's sent out, any other things after doing that? Are you going to try to like flop into a onto a cushion and try to sleep?
I think that she does still like turn the briefcase over and over and try to get a sense of anything else about it, who the manufacturer is, if this is something that she would have seen in a previous life carried by
Hmm.
people coming and going from her parents' house, anything that makes her anything that would give her more information to go on.
I'm going to tell you two things based on the two different questions you asked. It takes only a small amount of research to discover that this type of high security briefcase is manufactured by Icosidyne Instruments, one of the megacorps. Um, that doesn't necessarily mean that the person who was carrying it had anything to do with Icosidyne Instruments, just that they purchased it from one of their outlets. And conceivably that Icosidyne Instruments would have the technology to get past these various barriers, if anyone does. That's the less worrisome thing. As you're thinking back, as maybe you're drifting off to sleep, a memory begins to scratch at the back of your head. Um, the memory, you're maybe 3, 4 years old. You're basing that on just the height you are, the height your house is around you, as this memory takes that perspective. You didn't remember this really before then, or it didn't stand out amongst other memories. A doctor is conducting a house call, and the memory involves a song that's just kind of playing in your head. And the song is the ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two, they're going to make you a better you, and they all go tumbling down.
Huh.
And we'll leave you there for a moment. This is where we'd take a break if we hadn't already had a huge break, but we're going to keep like piling right forward. So
Yeah.
take a moment to center yourself, and we'll swing back to Lore. Lore, you're in the front of a train. Uh, no, you're not. They're all going to exit the train together. They don't want to be on this train anymore. You and a team have exited a Sivarat train at Wokeland Station. The buildings stretch up around you. They are not going to go very far. They're going to take you out around a corner out of the station to an alley and not shoot you, but maintain a respectful distance as you have a conversation. That being said, this looks like a team that could maybe do a lot of damage if they wanted to. There's 5 of them. You've met 2 already. There is a woman who is tall, muscular. You've had an altercation with her. There's a much smaller woman who's very casual. She's somehow produced a metal toothpick and it's in her mouth now. There is a wiry-looking, like mustached man who's holding a cyber deck in his hands. He's got a cord coming up from the back of it into the back of his head. There is a woman in a dirty lab coat. And there is an absurdly handsome-looking guy, stubbly, like 5 o'clock shadow, perfect teeth. And he's the one who has now stepped forward to do the talking. He's saying, I am so terribly sorry if Hannah G intimidated you, concerned you, made you feel uncomfortable in any way.
Comes with whatever's happening, I'm sure.
He'll smile. It does come with whatever's happening. So,
And you
let's... they call me Smiley Dan.
Nice.
And you
to
are.
meet you. They call me Galaxy.
Roll one more performance check.
I don't think I have any. Is it just performance? Could
Or
I do
talk,
charisma?
you know. Yeah, charisma perform, charisma talk. Something in the lying sphere.
Okay, 6.
Yeah, I don't know. He will note that you said that your name is Galaxy. He's clear based on the way that his smile has twitched that he does not believe that. He's willing to put that aside for now. He'll say, So, by now you are aware that some amongst my companions think that you are a potential ally, and others amongst my companions think that you are part of the reason why everything went wrong and that we should probably kill you.
Yes, I seem to have gathered that. But as we were on a very similar mission, your group and myself, to stop 2 separate trains and open the doors, I don't think we're working against each other.
I don't think we're working against each other yet, and I would love to keep it that way. What more do you know about your mission? Any details that you remember from your train might be useful to us.
There was a car that I couldn't get into.
Interesting. Interesting. Did you try?
Yes.
You'll note that especially the dirty lab coat woman like
Mm-hmm.
seems to be like calculating real hard, like she's thinking about it. Um, the guy who's talking to you, Smiley Dan, will say, "Do you think in your professional estimation, did Ez Munoz set us up to die, set you up to die, set your team up to die? Oh, I have questions about your team too, but we'll come back to those. Was this a
I
hit on us?
don't think so.
Hmm. Who's on
From
your team? Finish your thought.
from the messages I was receiving from Ez, it did not seem like they knew what was happening.
Wiry hacker mustache will say, are you still in contact with Ez?
I have not heard from them since I got on the other train.
Damn. Smiley Dan. What would you say uh, are your intentions towards Ez now?
My my intentions towards Ez now is more money and answers.
Hmm. We're interested in both of those things too. I think a potential problem with this arrangement is that answers can be shared.
Hmm.
Who's on your team?
That is not information that I am willing to give up at this moment because I do not know if I can trust you.
As you say that, the handsome man, Smiley Dan, will sort of flick a hand, and the tiny woman will, you don't know how she did this quickly, have a huge fuck you gun in her hands.
If that is what you would like to do, then all the information that I have not told you is gone with me. Now, you could put that away or kill me now. And there's this like unhinged look that comes into Laura's eyes as
Yeah,
she dead looks into this little woman's eyes.
yeah. The little woman looks like, as you look into her eyes, two things become apparent to you. One, she's psychotic. Like, you look into her eyes, she will happily kill you now. The second thing that you realize is that the rest of her gang is maybe even a little scared of her. Uh, Smiley Dan called for this, so it's probably the muscle woman who will sort of lower her gun, lower the tiny woman's gun back to the ground, to sort of push it down. Smiley Dan will say, "All right, now we understand each other very well. You were saying something about more information."
Sure. What I know is there were two groups on the platform when we rolled up, and they basically massacred, well, one of them massacred two others. What do you know? What have you found out about all of this bullshit?
Your train had an extra car. Our train, you have said,
Mm-hmm.
our train had extra passengers, which I found interesting. A group, not operators, more of a gang. Uh, One of the factions who we all saw get destroyed on that platform. Uh, my friend here, he will throw a look at Mustache Hacker. Has done already, to his credit, a bit of looking into that group. And he believes that they were a portion of a gang from the Sheer, a gang known as the, wait for it, a gang known as the One-Eyed Kings.
Hmm.
I don't know what they were hired to do or what their part in all of this was. If they were hired or if they were just along for the ride. But certainly on our to-do list of things is to find out why they thought they were there. If they were also part of Ez Munoz's web of sins, or if they had some other role in all of this.
Hmm. I will tell you that we did not know that the car was supposed to be there. We were told 6. There were 7.
We weren't told that the mercenaries were supposed to be there. We were told stop, and so we stopped.
Yep, same.
Well, we
Everyone is dead in that car.
The woman with the dirty lab coat will take a step forward, sort of scratch the back of her head, and say, everyone was dead on that car. Was there anything special about the people on that car?
It didn't look like anything special. Mostly security, I think. I didn't really get a good enough look.
Bunch of security on a secret car. None of it adds up. None of it makes any sense. There's no vectors. And she'll kind of like continue muttering to herself as Smiley Dan will say, I think I would prefer to be friends than enemies with you. We are going to go back to no exit tomorrow evening to see if our money is waiting for us or if we have to burn the place to the ground. Would you and your crew like to come with?
I will have to reconvene with them, Smiley Dan. I don't know. Wasn't exactly a plan for me to get on your train.
Very good, Galaxy. What is your crew's... Does your crew have a name? A calling card?
Not yet. Sure, that'll come up.
Oh, I see. Amateurs.
She gives him a look.
He smiles. His teeth reflect the diffuse light that's coming from the neon above.
Seems like we're as much of amateurs as you are.
Oh, we have a name. If that's what you're... What?
You got
He's thrown. Yeah.
you got tricked just like we did.
That is a fair assessment. Both of us got played. He will say... He will say, well, I hope to see you tomorrow. If you want to look up our work, perhaps to hire us to do jobs that need doing. We are known as Grave Error.
That was certainly an error. And with that, she'll put her hands in her pockets and start walking away.
Yeah. As you walk away, do you want to give me a wisdom notice check, like, on the way out here?
Wisdom notice, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's a straight roll for me, so.
Use the advantage.
Oh, yeah.
We are
I'll
so
second the
used to
advantage because I think
advantages.
it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
How do I do that again, Sam?
You are rolling 3d6. So roll 3d6 KH2.
KH2. Okay. 10.
Yo, that advantage pushed you over the top too, just for the record here.
Thank God.
Yeah. You hear the tiny woman with the big fuck you gun mutter under her breath, should I kill her? I can still kill her. And Smiley Dan will say, not yet, Hannah, not yet. And you make your way into the indifferent evening. I want to roll back around to anyone who's got a thing left hanging. I know a couple of you are like midway through scenes, just going in the same order again. Eve, you've had an actually pretty quiet evening compared to literally everyone else in the last several minutes. Anything in the night or the next day that you want to be up to?
Yes. I imagine that I have some sort of connectivity to the great wide way of the web. And I want to try to see if I can find any footage, then very quickly figure out that I can't find any footage, get very excited that I can't find any footage, and feel a lot of relief from that. Probably at some point in the evening, I know that Gavin is in the east, in Scylla East, yes?
Yeah, he's up in Cal, which is a long way from here as the Silicon Free State of Silicon goes.
Yes. And from what I remember, he has a day job.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then I took the fob from him the previous day, so he's been without it for a day.
He's been without it for a day, yes, so he at least knows that he can't access the trains right now.
Okay. Okay. Um, I'm going to go to sleep, do all the sleep hygiene things that I need to do. Um, and two things that I want to do. I want to send a message to Vale. I have a smartphone. Um, so it's going to be one of those like uh I'm sure we have our own code for when I have stuff for Vale. Um, and also I just kind of want to check in on them. So I'm going to send a message that says your uh your order is ready for pickup.
Hmm.
And that's sort of like I have something if you need something, and also come and see me. And then the second thing that I want to do is plan my day tomorrow to go up to Cal, drop off the fob, and meet back at the coordinates at the time
Nice.
that we decided upon, whenever that was.
I will say, yeah, I assume it's going to be like tomorrow evening, 24 hours or something, let everything cool down.
Mhm.
I will say that all of those things are able to happen without any sort of difficulty.
Okay.
The day goes smoothly for you. You're probably moving around in traditional drive-ons, so uh, you are calling a car. They are automated. They are ugly. They get caught in traffic. You are middle class, so you do not have access to any of the faster lanes. So a good deal of your day is spent just going from place to place, going across the great multi-tiered bridge that stretches from Silcent to Sil East on the lower among the lower decks yourself. Faster cars of middle management and above whizzing across the higher decks. That path does take you through the area of TI arcology. There is a tunnel that is not part of the arcology itself, but goes through Treasure Island. Um, all of the off ramps that go to Treasure Island have been closed for not as long as you remember it. This is all fairly recent history, but certainly closed for the last 8 years. You make your way through, you drop off the fob, you are able to make it back to where you are all going to meet up. Um, Abe, any other objectives before meetup tomorrow?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to think that Abe made friends with these admirers of his.
Yeah,
So I think, given that he can't return the fob to his train guard buddy until tomorrow, he just spends the most of the rest of the night regaling them with war stories and tales from the before times. So, back in my day, when you wanted to call or text somebody, you had to have
yeah.
like one of these things that was like a small rectangle, couldn't be any bigger than, say, well, I don't know. I have no frame of reference for you people. We didn't have all these gadgets in our heads that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, some of us still have smartphones, right? Like that's normal. That's still normal, old man. That's okay.
Oh,
Not everyone has the stuff in their head, just most of us. And sometimes you want to use the phone anyway, because this is going slower than that. Most of us have two or three, yeah? You had two or three smartphones, right?
yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that reference isn't gonna land. Yeah, yeah, depending, business, pleasure, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, they didn't let us have much technology back in the old United States. Uh, what do you know
Oh,
about things out east anyway?
you're a United Statesian. Oh, that makes sense. That's why you're so weird. I get it. Everyone's drunk. You've had a couple too, which you could drink at any speed that you want, but they've been clearly like working through them. The alcohol here is as much water as it is alcohol. Like this is extremely diluted stuff. They've just been knocking them back one after one, and The one, I don't want to say improvement, but significant difference from your time is that there is no closing time. This bar does seem to stay open as long as it needs to.
This future's not that bad after all.
The one benefit of there are no laws.
Right.
Um, they're saying, yeah, well, it's a wasteland, right? Like it's just everyone's at war all the time, and every day you choose a new enemy and you fight them, and then other parts of the world fight you, and it's just like terrible. Right? That's why we broke off, because here in the Silicon Empire, we respect freedom and capitalism, unlike you USAians.
And then Abe looks off into the middle distance a bit at the mention of fighting and enemies and everyone's at war with you. You know, in the background, if this were a film, right, you'd hear faint sounds of war fighting going on, explosions, right? Got hit!
Yeah, yeah.
Major! What are we gonna do? And he's just like, yeah, something like that, kid. Um, listen,
And the thing about it is it's all meaningless, right? All of the wars are totally meaningless.
like you wouldn't believe. They're not fighting for ideology or anything. It's a mess. Let's just leave it at that. Listen, I gotta return this to a friend of mine at one of the other Severat stations in the area. And then I need to be at. And then Abe takes their smartphone, right? He knows how to
Mhm.
work these things, right? A Maps app is a map app. Maps app is a Maps app, right? I
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
be here, after I go ahead and do that. And he inputs, we'll say 3 blocks radius of, was it no exit, last exit? Whatever the meetup spot with
I
that
don't
was.
think that's actually going to be the meeting spot.
Oh,
Where are you setting up as the meeting spot?
Vale gave everyone a different set of coordinates for
Damn.
within a 6 block radius of their, like, we're gonna say it's a 6 block radius of their favorite Krask burger in Wokeland, which is also 3 blocks away from where they parked Ackroyd. So nobody has
Nice.
the exact same information, but they're all within a radius where conceptually the plan in Vale's mind was Vale would get to Ackroyd first and then sweep through and pick everybody up.
There is a piece of Wokeland that is highly dense, just to the west of an area that's called the lake. People who are younger than you don't know why it's called the lake. There's no lake there. Um, but that area has the Kraskberger, has somewhat further afield the station that all of this started in, and has enough places that you can give everyone a plausible meeting place and then have everyone find each other from there, or pick everyone up from there as you see fit. Um, any rate, you get the sense that a piece of information, Abe, has been stored in someone's smartphone. But the guy you're talking to is like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I gotta go to work tomorrow, obviously. Um, it's okay. I mostly just sleep and let the machines in my head do the work for me, and then party all night. Um, but I don't know if you want to meet here, I guess tomorrow evening. I can get us a drive on it. We can go over.
yeah, that works for me. Listen, kid. Uh, I'm obviously not from around here. Where can an old man crash for the night?
He'll look at you and be like, "Do you have?" Sorry, this is an uncomfortable question. Do you have money?
Does Abe have money?
Yeah, I mean, you have whatever your character sheet says. You haven't been paid out. Whatever this mission was supposed to pay you, 4,000 zucks. It hasn't happened.
Okay, but uh, I've managed to scrounge together about 1,000 Z coin. It looks like. So yes, I
Held
have.
on to, yeah, old pay.
Ah,
It's probably not in actual Zcoin. It's probably not in currency that is relevant to here, but you could get it turned into useful currency. It's probably in dollars,
yeah,
whatever that is.
yeah. I've got money. I've got money as long as I got you people still have like currency exchanges, right? All I got are these American USAN dollars, I guess.
Oh wow, those are really useless. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can get some money for those highly variable dollars. Sure. Um, and you will find your way to, yes, there are still hotels. According to the rules, does it have rules for how much a hotel would cost? No, I'm just gonna eyeball it. With your USAN dollars, like trying to get them turned into Z's, it's gonna cost like 180 of them to get a decent stay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and just math that, and then oh, hold on. I know spreadsheet. I'll deal with that later. That's a no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna take the liberty then of just like doing the whole like nightly wind down routine, getting cleaned up, maybe cleaning his gun, uh, and just staring out the window until sleep takes him.
Nice. This is worth saying for everyone. If you had taken damage, no one did. You would, you did, yes. You will heal 1 hit point with a normal night of rest. Um, you will also heal, sorry, 2 hit points. It's your level. You heal your level and hit points, and also 1 system strain. So I remember that there is a flashback that will cool down a bit now as well. And we turn to Vale. Are you getting a full night's rest, or are you biking across the Bay Bridge?
I was literally just about to pop open my Maps app and see how long it predicts it would take a bike ride across the Bay Bridge to take, because my human brain uh, does not have a good reference point for that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sure. Feel free to run that for me.
yeah, so let me just input a couple of things really quick. Um, I I do feel like, regardless of whatever the output of this very dumb thing that I'm doing right now comes up with, I don't think Vale's gonna get a full night's sleep. I think Vale's
Okay.
too cranked and worried about what is actually happening. Um, oh, hang on. Let me. What would be? It would be. We're gonna just do BART station to BART station and see what that tells me about things. Um, cool. So this tells me. Oh, that's fascinating. We're just gonna go with that number, even though it's not correct. You can't actually bike across certain bridges in the current present day, so it
Oh,
reroutes
sure.
me. I'm gonna use that number anyway. So we're gonna say it takes me about an hour and a half on bike, given my
That sounds
current
about right.
situation. Anyway, I mean, I'm also very hurt.
Yeah,
For
given your current state and also just given like there are no bike lanes, you are dodging traffic in a on a bike. You're
yeah, no,
used to
I am.
dodging traffic.
I think I'm straight up weaving through the smart cars
Yeah.
on the road, because I know that's gonna be faster than taking the actual bike lanes anyway.
Yeah.
Um, it takes me half hour to 2 hours to, or 90 minutes to 2 hours to get across the bridge and get back to where I have parked Ackroyd.
This is a funny enough circumstance that I do want to take one more go with the danger die.
Yeah,
You're in
no, I think
Wokeland, so
that's
this
good.
one's a D6.
Great.
Not
That's a
today,
2.
Satan. It's
So
closer to a
close
one.
though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we're just milling out all the non-roll ones, so it becomes a one when it's dramatically appropriate. Um,
Yeah.
it's, between the hours of 2 and 3:30 a.m. when you are making your way across the bridge. It is exhausting. There are still a lot of cars, even though it's this bizarre, absurd hour. It never sleeps. It is always a catastrophe. You also get to experience navigating the maze, where
Mhm.
the bridge across the bay from Sil Cent to Sil East crashes into Wokeland and Emtem. There is a catastrophe of freeways, all of which knot together like a cat's hairball spat up into the city streets. Um, It is difficult for locals, impossible for outsiders to navigate this. Even the drive-ons sometimes have a hard time and spit people out in weird places and add 10 to 30 minutes to your commute. Um, you're able to get there eventually, spit yourself out into a plausible part of Wokeland, and get to where Ackroyd is waiting for you, as if none of this evening ever happened.
Right. I'm going to. I'm gonna. If I don't think Ackroyd has like a bike rack, but I'm going to jury rig some version of like whatever's on the externals that I can kind of like find a chain in the lock somewhere in my trash pile and like chain the bike to it to make sure that this is a loaner. I want to get it back. I don't want to. I'm on enough people's bad lists. I don't want to make it worse, especially not with somebody who's vaguely friendly to me. So I'm gonna try to return this. I'm gonna get in. It's wee hours of the morning, and I think I'm going to check my messages, of which I'm sure there are a bunch.
Well, you're gonna get specifically the ones from your party members.
Yes.
And yeah, you are also gonna get one from your sibling.
Right. I'm
Um,
gonna start with that one.
yeah. The message is just, "Ooh, you're in it now." Text.
I'm gonna respond back. In it with mom? In it with your boss? Or are you implying something else?
A moment will pass and the answer will just be all lowercase, yes.
Tell mom I'll call her at dinner. Everyone else can fuck off.
The response will just be an old-timey, like, colon smiley face, right?
Yeah.
Like, not a whole emoji, but an emoticon smiley face.
Cool. I think next I go to Eve's. I see the message about have a pickup for you. And I will go ahead and send a reply that says double that pickup, usual spot, which is essentially we'll meet at the normal place. If you have actual product for me, that's beneficial.
Mm-hmm. I will send a message back and say, how's your brain?
What brain?
Good to know.
And unlike the other messages, there is no code in that whatsoever.
Nope.
Nope. What other messages did I get specifically from party members? Sorry, I was trying to keep track.
GlitchAngle.
Oh, yes. Gonna look at GlitchAngle's message. And I think I'm going to reply, do you keep backups? Because no one else does.
I will see that message and hesitate for a second before replying simply, bit of a digital hoarder.
One more reply then. Reconsider that policy. We should talk about your security plan. With a string of very intentionally what looks like a spam link. And I think GlitchAngle is going to be savvy enough to recognize is not even a link to anything. It is meant to look like this is spam messaging in case anyone is monitoring.
Yeah, I think she picks up on that.
Strong.
And I think after that, if I don't see any other messages from any like immediate party members, if I don't see anything from Ez, I'm gonna just turn off all of my stuff and I'm gonna go to the back of the van. I'm going to pull I'm I'm gonna pull Reeves off of their dock and set them in the middle of the floor, whip out a pocket knife, and just sit there and like activate like the random cleaning sequence and just spar with Reeve. As
Nice.
a wind down. Like just kind of like it's the most unelectronic, unconnected thing. And
Yeah.
just kind of do that until Vale kind of naturally falls asleep.
That's lovely. You begin to fall asleep as the light begins to pierce through the grungy windows, and you are unconscious in possibly the safest place that exists for you right now. We're gonna move forward in time unless Glitch, there was any other things you wanted to do before the meetup.
I think the only thing that she wants to do with
I see you too. Yeah.
with that information that Vale sent her is get a flash drive that is maybe a lot more encrypted than anything else that she usually handles. It's sort of a safeguard that she took with her when she struck out on this particular line of work, and back that specific stream up on that, and then get rid of it off of her own internal hard drive.
Great.
She wants to keep a copy of it because she has a feeling about it, but she doesn't want to have it on her person.
You now have a copy that no one is going to be tempted to commit surgery on you to get. That seems like a good idea.
Yep.
As time passes, as one day moves to the next, I'm going to reveal a new functionality here, which is a calendar. Time goes on. Time stretches inevitably forward. I'm gonna put little circles for like days where big things happen. So the start of the campaign is a circle, and now it is Thursday. The main reason I am keeping a calendar here is just because when you get to the end of the month, you have to do things like pay rent, and you probably want to make sure that you've got money. Those of you who've got equipment in your head have to pay for that equipment in your head, the monthly upkeep. So, make sure that as we get towards the end of April, you're not totally broke, because that would be bad for you. Lore, was there something else that you were wanting to do before the meetup?
Yeah. So even before the night is over,
Oh yeah, roll me back.
Lore is going to walk away casually. Her hands are in her pockets because her hands are shaking. But she is going to text Ez and go, "You better answer me. This other group that you hired is more dangerous than we are, so you might want to answer your phone."
That's strong. You will, maybe half an hour after sending that message, get a message from a different IP address, a different number, that says, and again, I'll do this neutrally because it's just text, but it just
Yeah.
comes in as, well, I fucked up.
Where are you?
Pretty sure that if I tell you that, I might die.
I think you might die anyway.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I am as to ground as a person can be right now. Pause. Next message. The phone that I am sending this on, I am going to crush under my shoe when this conversation is over. Pause. Next message. That's how fucked this is. After about a
Oh,
yeah,
go
after
ahead.
about a couple of seconds, they will say, "Are you okay?"
No! I've been shot at twice. Was there any money?
I have your money. I'll get it to you.
I'll give him an address. Them. I'm so sorry. I've been doing
good.
so well too. Dang it.
It's good.
I will give them an address to drop off said money, and then warn them about where did I write the grave error.
Text. Oh, so you met them.
They held a gun to my head.
Yeah, they're a little unhinged.
Yep.
Listen. And then after the listen, there'll be like a significant pause before the next text.
Okay.
And the next text will be, I fucked up. I realize I fucked up. This mission wasn't it. I'll get you your money. I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of this.
She'll text back one more time and say, be careful. You know how to get a hold of me.
Between be careful and you know how to get a hold of me, the second text will bounce back. The line's been disconnected.
Okay. And then as I walk home, I will use the pager that we all have and basically go, things are fucked. Still alive.
And I think on that note, we'll move to the next day. Unless there's any last things. You technically have a whole day, but I assume that most of you are either traveling or just trying to rest, regain equilibrium. Vale, if you spend most of the time, I will actually give you that hit point for resting. You've just done it later in the day than you would have otherwise.
I will sleep up until the point that I need to go do the rounds to grab everybody. So it's just going to be offset from everyone else's sleep cycle.
The only other
No,
thing I'm doing is returning also my dongle to the man that I can no longer talk to.
Yes, you have burned that bridge, but you've burned it well. All of the dongles have been returned to the people who you have begged, borrowed, or stole them from variously. I think there's actually almost literally one of each of those. And as you do so, the sun streaks across the sky like a smear behind the fog, like a bad paint job against a gray backdrop. And now it is tomorrow. And now it is tomorrow evening. And now we are at Vale's favorite Krask Burger, assuming that everyone showed up to their meeting places. Abe, I gotta ask you actually, like, the guy's gonna drive on you across the bridge. He's got a real bad subscription, so it takes a while. When you get out, he will get out with you. He seems to think he's invited to this meeting.
I thought you had to go to work, kid.
Yeah. That's tomorrow, right? Like tonight, you're gonna meet the crew, and I'm gonna meet the crew.
You watched the live stream, right?
Yeah.
You know there were at least a dozen people at that train station that were murdered, right?
Yeah?
I appreciate the favor and everything, kid. And, hey, if you ever want an old soldier to tell you war stories, I'm always available. But I don't think Abe looks him up and down. Assuming he's just some sort of, like, corporal worker, right?
He's like in his 20s. He's a low-level corporal worker. He's wearing a bad suit that doesn't fit him right. He's got the cranium jack in the back of his head to put skills into if he needs them. He doesn't seem to have many without it.
I just don't want anything happening to you. I've got enough on my conscience. I don't.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
maybe let's exchange contact information. I got one of these things, and he holds up his beeper. uh,
Whoa.
Look, if I'm ever in a pinch, or if you're ever in a pinch and need someone, pow pow, call me up. I owe you.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. He'll take down whatever contact information you'll give him. He'll say, just one last thing.
Shoot.
Is GlitchAngle single? Or
As far as I know, GlitchAngle is just one person, yes. I don't know. Look, this cyber technology really put me through a loop, kid. So
yeah.
if you people are able to duplicate or triplicate yourselves, I don't know if she has that ability.
You will watch his face be not sure if you are trolling or just dead honest right now. He'll go through a series of emotions and he'll be like, yeah, okay. Um, well, I'll see you.
Uh,
Um,
One more thing.
yeah.
What's your name, Trooper?
Oh, I'm Trent.
Trent.
I'm Trent Lean. Sorry, I should have said that earlier.
Trent Lean. All right.
Trent Lean. Trent. I mean, my real name is Trenton, but no one,
Oh, well, I served with a Trenton.
Huh, he'll say. The significance of that will not hit him in any way, as he hops back into a different drive-on and makes his way out of the city, out of Wokeland for now. Vale, you succeed at picking everyone up. Set me a stage. Like, are you going to the Krask Burger itself for this meeting? As I let this cat out of this room.
I think that because I think this is funnier, I think that what happens is that everyone arrives at whatever their coordinates were, kind of looks around, goes, no one else is here, what the F? But they are all dropped in places where the natural, like, if I'm gonna kind of wander and see if maybe my data was wrong, leads them kind of toward the Kraskburger, and then this very janky Winnebago rolls by, pops open a door, they hop in, and then I absolutely do not go to that Kraskburger at all. I'm gonna drive off, I think toward the lake. I think.
Sure.
Because again, Vale grew up in Deep East and kind of knows this area probably better than Silsent. So I think there's probably some, I don't want to say a park because those don't exist anymore, but there is some area that is like wasteland, trash heap, junkyard, something that is only picked over by the people who know what they're looking for or don't have anywhere else to go, who are not of concern. And Vale's gonna go.
I think that's exactly it, right? So like the lake for a couple of things. One, it's a territory almost directly between the Jacks and the Fairy Boys, the two gangs of Wokeland. So it's sort of a battleground. This, despite the fact that there is nothing there worth battling over. The lake is trash heaps. The lake is anything that there wasn't enough room for in Wokeland seems to have been consolidated in the lake. People live there, to be sure. People live everywhere in the free state of Silicon. But you can find a dumpster, like, pile, essentially. Imagine, if you will, a dumpster filled with dumpsters. And you're not too far off of what's happening here. Like an area where trash receptacles go to die. And it's a fairly anonymous place.
Yeah. And so, Vale will pull into that. I don't know that everyone has... GlitchAngle and Lore for sure have never been in Ackroyd before. And I think everybody kind of had to cram in the back. I need you to just picture, like, the most old school RV you can imagine, except that everything's just like a little bit dirty and a little bit wrong. So everyone kind of had to cram into the back of this. There is a Roomba with a knife duct taped to it that is sort of like skirting around everyone's legs on its cleaning path in a very menacing way. And then Vale will just like pull up Park and like pop open every door and just be like, out, 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 out. We don't talk in the van. We don't talk in the van.
Nice. I gotta ask a very important question before I'll let you all have your conversation, which is this. GlitchAngle,
God.
what did you do with the briefcase? Is it with you? Did you leave it at home?
Oh, I did not leave that thing at home. A, I can't get into it myself. B, I'm not letting it out of my sight. So, GlitchAngle actually does not look like anyone here would have seen her before. She actually looks corpo, for lack of a better term. Like, she's wearing a hat that covers her wild colored hair. She's wearing like a button down shirt, a blazer, and she looks like someone who would be carrying a briefcase, which is kind of what she built the disguise around. I think Vale might have actually looked over her a couple of times.
Vale circled the block twice before realizing that was you.
So yeah, but no, she's been holding on to this briefcase. Anyone who's particularly observant might notice that her knuckles get a little bit white whenever she thinks about it and glances down.
Nice. Then I will say, to the sound of distant car alarms, gunshots, fireworks underneath the neon lights that are reaching even here to this trash heap that you found yourselves in, you tumble out of Ackroyd and talk amongst yourselves.
I just shove eye drops and supplements at Vale and hand them water, and Eva's just kind of fussing over Vale right now. Take two of those. No, take two. Not one, two. Yep, and then do the other one.
Yeah, okay, I do it.
Okay, good. Yes.
Thank you. That's fine.
If you want to do actual first aid, you could do actual first aid, and we could learn those rules.
I would love to do actual first aid.
Hell yeah.
Cool. I mean, it sounds like narratively that's what's happening here, right? Like,
Yes,
you're trying
it
to
is.
patch up Vale a little bit.
Yes.
So what happens is this. I presume you brought your medkit with you today.
Yes, of course.
Always. You can use your medkit to heal an ally 1d6 plus your heal skill.
I will roll dice about it.
Very good. The cost of this is just, it will add 1 system strain to Vale. So if you did this a million times over the course of the day, you would eventually fill them up and they wouldn't be able to benefit anymore. They're probably going to sleep again. They'll lose that system strain pretty amazing immediately.
2, and then let me look at plus my heal.
Yes.
3 total.
Great. You have healed 3. This requires a minute or so of time, so it's not a thing that can be easily done while people are shooting at each other. But in the quiet of this dumpster, you're able to make it happen.
Perfect. Thank you. After Eva's done fussing over Vale, I think she turns her attention to Lore, for sure. Just to make sure that Lore is okay and not bleeding, or has gotten some kind of help.
I'm fine.
You definitely didn't look fine. There was blood, so I just want to make sure.
No, and I appreciate it wasn't my blood.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Glad you're alive.
Yes. Lots happened.
Why did you run the other direction?
I didn't want to risk that thing getting on the train with the rest of you.
Sure. Well, you worried me, so maybe try not to do that again.
That's
Thank you.
why I sent the message last night. There's another group on that train. A group assigned to do the same thing that we did.
What do you mean the same thing? What do you mean the same thing? What thing? Which thing? Well, things.
Stop the train, open the doors. For a minute.
Ooh.
Hired by Ez.
What?
Oh, that son of a bitch.
There's a lot that happened. Let me explain, and then we can talk about it a little bit. Started moving through the train. Didn't want to be in the car I was in. There was too many adrenalines going on. Ran into two of them. They call themselves the Grave Errors. Yeah.
Have I ever heard of the grave errors? Please continue.
Okay.
I've actually,
Oh, no, anyone
I've actually got a second.
who thinks it's plausible can certainly throw me down a, pick a skill that makes sense. I would go with connect, but no would also make sense. Intelligence, probably.
The only grave error Abe knows is the country he left. Ayo!
Oh, go ahead.
Would it be connect and
I'm gonna say intelligence unless you can make a
wisdom?
real strong.
Okay.
Oh! Wisdom is more like observing things. Intelligence is more like knowing stuff.
Got it.
I'm gonna take intelligence. Can I make an argument for administer in any way? It's okay if not. I'm just checking.
If these guys were less small fry than they are, I would allow that argument. But these aren't like corporates. These are way. We will discover that these are pretty bottom rung.
Just wanted to check if that applied, given my
yeah.
background. So,
My-
okay.
Always worth checking.
Mine is actually an 8. I did numbers wrong, but it's an 8.
Okay, 8.
Well, mine's a 13, apparently.
I roll a 7.
Yeah.
I rolled
Yeah,
a crit
okay.
success plus my intelligence, which is a +1.
Hell
So going
yeah.
right up the line there, Eve, you haven't heard of them. Glitch, you've heard of them. They show up occasionally, mentioned in streams. There are dozens, maybe hundreds, safely dozens of operator teams in the city. People who do jobs for corpos, gangs, wealthy individuals themselves, but usually are, provocateurs for hire in some way. With an 8, you don't know much about Grave Error other than that they exist and they've, gone around and done things occasionally. Vale, you know some more things. They are a fairly new team. They came onto the scene recently. They are known for not really giving a fuck about who they work for, not having any particular morals or standards, doing a job if the money is good, and I don't want to say leaving a trail of bodies in their wake. That's overselling it slightly, but for being messy, let's say. They're known for being messy. With a 13, I'm just going to give you all of their names. Like, you're able to, like, pin it right down, right? So, like, you've heard some of these names already. In as far as there's a leader, there's a guy named Smiley Dan. He's the kind of guy who owes and collects a lot of favors. At least according to what you're seeing. The two women who you met, the muscles and the gun, are variously Hannah G and Hannah H. I'm putting all these in the Roll20 chat for anyone who wants to get them from there. The hacker with the wiry mustache styles himself the Wereweasel. Not wear as in clothes, but wear as in cyberware. His shtick seems to be getting in the cyberware that's in your body and reprogramming you to do things that he wants.
I'm gonna kill him. Continue.
And the woman in the dirty lab coat is named Johns. Even with a 13, you're not entirely sure what that's about, unless you are. The internet, at least, is not sure what that's about.
That's fine. Vale will quickly spew most of that out in a very rambling fashion that might take longer than it just did in real time, because there's a bunch of little, like, sidebars, but will eventually sort of, like, regurgitate a bunch of that information in one running monologue, and then realize they're talking too much and kind of shrink back and stop.
Yeah.
Before that, you saw me run. I threw you a briefcase. I see that you have it.
I do, yeah.
The woman looked at me and said, "Don't let them bury it."
They're working on burying a lot of stuff at the moment. My stream's been entirely scrubbed off the web, as far as I can tell.
Is there any way to find out who scrubbed it?
I'll just look over at Vale.
I asked a friend to scrub it for me, and
It was
they
already
said
done.
they didn't need to because it already had been.
Cool.
They said it was higher up than us, and that's no, I'm not saying that's skill level, I'm saying that's
Yeah.
involvement.
Yeah. Okay.
I just need to put this out there. That can't happen for me again.
No,
I
definitely not. Definitely
Need
not. Absolutely
to
not.
not be on a stream. My business is anonymous. And there are people, for lack of a better term, who hate my guts and want me dead.
Okay.
Well,
I can't do what I do if people know what my face looks like. I
Most
can
of
Fair
be
enough.
most of us
in
barely
the-
know what your face looked like.
yeah, sure. But you know I have a face, right? That's already a problem.
Well, we can if we keep doing jobs together, as I'm certain we will, we can talk about that. The thing I have to contribute is popularity, the ability to draw a crowd if I need to.
I think we just work on our angles. Pardon the pun.
Intend
And I'll
your
stay out of
puns, you coward.
And I will try to stay out of sight.
Grave Errors is gonna go try and collect their money from Ez tonight. I kept all of your names out of all of my conversations with them. They put a gun to my head wanting more answers, and I told them to either kill me, but they wouldn't get anything else out of me. They don't know my real name. I told them my name was Galaxy.
A good pseudonym, as pseudonyms go.
Fuck, you're so cool.
It's a much better call sign than Gangland, I'll tell you that much.
There's a long story when it comes to that. I have given Ez a drop for our money. I don't think we're going to get more answers from him. I will pull up, I brought a little handheld device where I could show them what my messages were to Ez.
Sure.
I mean, it certainly looks like they don't know a whole lot more.
No, but the fact that they have realized that they have fucked up this bad
And admitted it.
Makes me think that they might know more, but I think until Ez can figure out what they need to do for their safety, we let them come to us.
I mean, the information that they know that we need to know is Who hired them for this job?
That's assuming that they know.
And I can't get a hold of them anymore. This line is now bouncing for any message because they said they were going to put this phone under their boot, and they are a person of their word.
Do, do, do you think they? Do you think the plan was involving this briefcase? Do we know? Do you think Ez knows about the briefcase, or was that a fluke? What was that? What was that about? Because I can look. I can try to look, but what is that? What is that?
Breathe, kid. Breathe.
I don't think that Ez knew about some of the stuff that was happening. When I messaged them earlier saying that there were 7 cars instead of 6, I got a what the fuck. And then just an influx of messages while everything was going to shit asking me what was going on. And as if I could have answered any of that, I could not. I say that we do not meet up with grave error. They already kind of want to kill me. From the sounds of what I guess Hannah G was saying. Kind of feel like it's stay out of each other's hair and we should be fine. Though I have a feeling that Smiley Dan is probably going to try and find me again.
I don't like that name.
I don't want to find them first, Vale.
Okay.
At this moment, until we figure out what that is about, because they do not know about the briefcase. They saw me throw one. That's it. I didn't tell them anything about I was handed this briefcase and this is what this lady said to me before she died. I just told them that the car opened and everybody was dead inside. They did not believe that my name is Galaxy, but I wasn't going to willingly give up the name that people know me by, so.
And they apparently didn't push, so that's something.
No, but they'll probably find out what my name is pretty easily. There's not a lot of people with one of these here.
The neon light glints garishly off it as you raise your brass hand.
I don't think, all things accounted for, that could have gone any worse.
It could have.
It couldn't have gone any better, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
It was a middle road kind of situation.
We did an okay job. I just want to say that. Given the circumstance. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I keep interrupting you. We did the job that we were paid for. Now, all the details that come after that is the problem. Especially with like 3 different entities. And Grave Error didn't know about the mercenaries that were on their train when they got on. So,
like, we didn't know about the car.
Correct.
I don't want to beat this person. I've never wanted to beat this person, but I'm going to be this person in this moment because nobody else is being this person in this moment. Are we going to get paid if they go to find Ez?
Ez will not be where they look for them.
Are you sure? How good is the wereweasel? I mean, he's not as good as me. I know he's not as good as me, but how good is he?
I don't know. I highly doubt he is as good as you, but also Ez is pretty good about covering where they need to go.
He's not good about getting us information.
No, but we didn't ask a lot of questions either. We didn't even try.
They've never given me a job like this before. It's usually very simple, in and out, deliveries, something easy. This is
This
weird.
This should have been an easy job. This should have been an easy job. It should have been simple. And there was so much that they didn't tell us. Also, like, why this? Why this? Why this? Points at GlitchAngle. I don't even know who the fuck you are, except that, I mean, I do, but like, why the fuck are you here? Like, I don't, like, that's not against you. That's like, what is S doing? What is the fuck? What the fuck?
I mean, we are an unusual team.
5 people walk into a Crask Burger.
One starts shooting.
And all 5 walk back out.
That's right. That's right.
uh
I'm about to make things more complicated, I think.
oh good. What
More complicated?
And this whole time, I think that GlitchAngle's been sitting on whatever, like, flat surface will hold her and just kind of drawing patterns on the top of the briefcase absentmindedly. Something about me recognizes this.
This what, the briefcase?
Or whatever. You know what? Fuck it. Whatever's inside.
Well, have you tried opening it?
Crack
it open.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Absolutely
No?
not. There's a retinal scan, a fingerprint scan. If I tried opening it without all of that, it will explode. And whatever is inside this thing makes my insides feel like I bit down on a power line whenever I touch it.
Ugh.
When you put the briefcase down on the table in front of you, or the I guess the ground in front of you to discuss it, as you move a bit away from it, it's like you've left a warm embrace. It's the feeling after being in a hug, where you can sort of still feel the residual on it, but the cold is rushing in where the warmth of another body was. It is a lonely feeling putting down the briefcase.
Okay, Abe wants to try something. He grabs the briefcase.
And
You're holding a briefcase.
And kind of
Sorry.
instinctively, GlitchAngle like reaches out to try and grab it back from him, but pulls her hand back. Just
No, don't worry. Don't worry, kid. I'm just trying something. Does Abe feel anything?
No.
Folks, I don't feel shit. So it probably has something to do with all them cybernetic doodads in your bodies.
I don't think that's it.
I didn't feel anything when I was holding it.
Vale is staring intently at GlitchAngle.
And when I was examining it, looking at all of the tech, and I'll tell Vale who the manufacturer is. I'm sure they already know just by looking at it, but I remembered something from when I was very small, 3-4 years old. A doctor came and did a house visit, and there was this song that they sang, and that's about all I remember.
What's a song?
I don't remember what the changed line was, Sam, so if you want to drop that somewhere.
Yeah. The ants go marching 2 by 2. They're going to make you a better you.
And GlitchAngle will actually sing the little refrain, because that's the only way she can remember it. Actually sing the little song. The ants go marching 2 by 2. They're going to make a better you. And just kind of like looking down at her hands. She's been rubbing them together without really realizing that she has, because her hands feel cold now that she's not touching the briefcase.
I think Eve will go up to GlitchAngle and like kind of seek nonverbal permission to take GlitchAngle's hands.
She'll hesitate
and just feel them.
Yeah, she'll hesitate a second, and her hands are actually shaking a little bit, but she will let Eve touch.
Are they cold?
I mean, to outward touch, they don't seem to be colder than they would be normally. They are cold, but they are not like preternaturally, supernaturally cold. They're just cold.
Okay, I think just like, taking heart rate, checking for fever, like that kind of thing. Just physically checking over and making sure everything is fine.
Oh yeah, maybe do actually give me like an int and heal. Or
Hey.
wisdom if you prefer. Wisdom and heal.
Okay, so that's gonna be 2d6 plus 2. Wait, let me just make sure that my heal is
Also,
one,
if you
and
want
my...
to, if you'd like to use the last advantage, we don't have much time
Oh,
left,
yeah.
and it will be leaving.
Oh, okay, yeah, yep. How do I do that? Again, 3d6
KH for keep highest. KH too.
KH2. And I'm gonna add the +2 and see if it works. Yeah, it worked.
Oh,
Okay, 8.
another perfect spending of one of those. A skill that would not have succeeded except for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. It is clear that GlitchAngle is elevated. It feels it's not you have a lot of experience with people who have been elevated by drugs. You have a lot of experience with Vale. You have a lot of experience with dozens of other patients. This doesn't really feel like that. It's not like there's something uh, causing her, it's something externally causing her to have weird physical reaction. It's more like she's excited. It's like an internal process, right? Like she's responding like someone who uh she's responding like someone who's fallen in love for the first time. She's responding like someone who has just seen the sky or the ocean, right? Like that's the sort of physical response you're getting from this, not anything more chemical than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you tell me how you're feeling?
Lonely. Unless you meant physically, I'm not.
No.
Touching that thing was like a really good hug. I haven't really let it go since it was tossed to me. And
This
letting
is
it go
very
feels
strange.
cold.
Okay.
And I don't know what this has to do with my childhood. I don't know what this has to do with. And you could see her like she checks something that she's about to say. Well, other things. But I think we need to get into that thing and find out what it is that woman didn't want buried. And maybe I'll have some answers for this. Whatever the fuck just happened.
I think you shouldn't touch it again.
Why? If the word addiction leaves your mouth, I swear by the gods.
I don't think we know enough about it, and I worry that it could hurt you. It's not I think caution would be best here. I don't want to take it away from you or infantilize you in any way. Loneliness is powerful. It drives us to do things that we wouldn't normally do, and all human emotions are like that. It's just a precaution. You don't have to listen to me. I'm one voice, but
No, you should listen to
That's-
Evie. Evie was right.
that's my recommendation. And I'm not always right.
You're
I do make mistakes.
You're pretty much mostly right, though.
You're a
All right,
doctor.
darling.
Do you have access to any scanning equipment? Anything like that?
Nothing that isn't mundane. I could
Mundane might
reach out
be fine.
to some contacts. I mean, we could do blood work. I have some equipment.
There is something about me that reacts to that. And I very much need to know what that is.
Well, let's run some tests.
And Vale, if you are willing to give it a shot to get it open, I can't think of anyone better.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a look at it. I can't promise anything, because if this has got like fingerprints and retinal scans and a bunch of other security, then I'm gonna have to figure out like who it's attached to figure out if I can even hack it. But yeah, I can do it, and I'm gonna go send a message real quick and see what I can do.
If you can figure out who it is attached to, I can at least get a retinal scan copied.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Let me see what I can do.
I am working on getting a safe house set up. Maybe that's where we start convening. And maybe it'll give you a place to stay, Abe.
I mean, if it wouldn't be too much of an imposition. I don't know about you all, but until we get paid, I've only got these things. He holds up those USian dollars.
Holy
Oh,
shit, those
boy.
things are antiques.
Yeah, they're not worth very much of your Ziggy bucks or whatever the hell you call them either.
I have a feeling we'll get paid hopefully soon. But for now, safe house is where it is.
So, Vale, what's the play?
If the others will let me, I'm going to take possession of the briefcase so that I can hook up some things and try to like run some tests. Like very, very low approach. Like start with like the same thing GlitchAngle did of just looking at it and seeing what it is, and then maybe starting to maybe connect some wires and just try to like scan. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I am also, as I am doing this, I am going to message my sibling and ask him what kind of favors I would need to owe the Jacks to get a hold of some Madeline.
You said a word at the end of that, and I either had a stroke. Sorry, get hold of.
No,
oh, the drug. Yes.
Some Madeline, the drug. Yes.
Okay, you're using an in-character term. No, that's great. Thank you.
I'm trying to keep the immersion.
You're good.
So I looked
you did
it up
such a good
first.
job that
yeah.
You did such a good job that I fucked it up. So that's
no,
fine.
That's fine. Yeah, no, I'm gonna send a message to my sibling and see what kind of money or favor I would owe to get a hold of some Madeline.
Yes. Sorry, I am stalling to figure out how much Madeline costs. Oh, that's
Madeline
cheap.
costs.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, it's I looked it up. I can tell you all the things. I was trying to like set a vibe, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna do some scans of the briefcase, and I'm gonna send a message to see if I can get a hold of some of that.
So we'll do the briefcase part first. She's a little touchy, but the moral of the story here is, it seems to you, as long as you don't try to open it before or without the proper things to open it, you're not going to make it blow up. There is no risk of that happening. So, with that in mind, as you look over it, you've got wires put in it. So why don't you give me just a basic hacking intelligence hack, and we'll see what I can tell you about it.
Okay. Intelligence program for my hack skill?
That's the one. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I said hack. Program
No, just double checking. Oh, that was not ideal. That's a 7 total.
Sure it was. Okay. Yep. Here's what it is. You are aware that these briefcases each have a unique registration code. This is a fallback position. If something goes wrong with the eyes, the fingerprints, whatever, there's a lot of ways to lose eyes and fingers, right? There is at least a way to trace this back. So conceivably, working from this unique registration code, you could find the name of the owner. The downside is that is going to require two steps. The first step is the unique registration code is like half scrubbed out of the system as you're looking at it. You've got a couple of digits of it. You'd have to find some way to like reconstruct the rest of the registration code.
Okay.
That's the easier part.
Yeah.
The harder part is once you've got the registration code, you probably need to get into an Icosahedine Instruments database in an Icosahedine Instruments facility somewhere to figure out what name that code goes to.
Great. In about 4 times longer than it took you to explain that to me, I'm going to explain that to the rest of the party.
As you are doing that process takes a little while. Was there any other side conversation or bits, or is everyone just kind of standing around Vale, like watching this briefcase surgery happen?
Vale went into Ackroyd and closed the door. Left the little like window on the door open so you can kind of peek through, but is absolutely like, you guys stay out there.
Sure.
I think Eve is just monitoring GlitchAngle this whole time, seeing if there's any change in the physical like aspect, and also will periodically check in about not in an annoying way, but just in a like, I am your doctor, I'm trying to figure this out kind of a way.
Yeah.
When the briefcase disappears inside of Ackroyd, GlitchAngle actually is very restless, so gets up and just starts pacing. Trying not to be annoying to the hacker working inside, so staying well away from Ackroyd, but definitely like getting some pent-up energy out, just pacing back and forth, elbows cupped in both hands.
Eventually, pretty quickly actually, the sense of physical loss fades and you're back to equilibrium, homeostasis. Whatever stress, whatever anxiety you're experiencing, of course, persists. But
Yeah.
it seems like the symptoms that were briefcase related go away pretty quickly and don't leave you with any, like, you're not experiencing withdrawal, other than whatever psychological desire you have to have it again.
Right. I want that hug back, but I also am like desperate to know what is going on. So it's like those two things are the warring anxieties. But I will, as I pass Eve, as the symptoms are fading, let her know. Well, I don't feel the weirdness anymore. I feel just me again. Whoever and whatever that is.
Noted. Thank you.
During that time, Vale, you do get a response from your sibling, which is a simple, yeah, I can hook you up.
I'm gonna send back a whatever our thank you emoji is and a set of coordinates for a drop.
Nice. And I do, as we are moving towards our time limit for today, I want to make sure I get a sense of what I think you guys are going to be doing next by asking you. What's the plan going forward from here? And I'll say a couple of things so you can think about this. You have completed a job. You will get the money. I'm not gonna take that away from you. It will show up at the drop point that was set up. In the coming days, this is mostly going to get filtered through the party by way of GlitchAngle, probably also possibly somewhat through Vale. You are, GlitchAngle specifically, you're a known entity now, right? Like, you are known to be part of a operator team, which means you're getting job offers. So one of the things you can do going forward, if you think that money would be useful, or if you agree with one of the jobs, is there are a number of job offers which are going to line up and be on the table for you. I'm going to tell you really briefly right now what the four most plausible of them are, and if you are interested in doing any of those, let me know and I'll prepare those a bit more. And if you're not, you can always set up your own job. These haven't been fully detailed yet, right? These are just options that it's the menu, right? So, you are getting the following offers over the course of the next several days. From the Jacks, you are getting an offer for a scouting mission. If you follow up, you can learn more about it. From the Fairy Boys, you are getting an offer for a killing a guy, a wet work mission. From an anonymous source, you are getting an offer for a sabotage mission. Miffin.
Niffin.
Glitch, you are getting a mission from a call from the Megacorp Remainder for an espionage mission.
Interesting.
And there are any number of anonymous bids for a certain briefcase, with the going price ranging up to 100,000 Zs.
Not high enough. Will never be high enough. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll pass along all of the jobs, obviously, and we can discuss amongst ourselves what sounds most interesting.
Yeah. And I do want to keep the stream going for this, but this is kind of a semi-in-character, semi-meta conversation. You can discuss amongst yourselves, like, what you want this to look like, what the plans are. Also, like, what questions you're curious about, right? Like, what you are even wanting to investigate if you're wanting to investigate things.
Well, I think if any of those align with the corporation database that we need to get into, that would be interesting.
Remind me which Megacore Remainder is? Is that the like
Entertainment.
social media type thing?
Yeah, social media.
I mean, honestly, if we're able to get in with Remainder, that we may be able to start getting more information on the person that this thing's connected to.
It might not hurt to get to do other jobs as well, just to build our bank
And our reputation.
Sure.
Reputation is everything in this kind of work. You know that as well as I do, Mort.
Here's a question. Do these jobs require the entire party, or can the party be broken up into subgroups?
Oh no, I hate that look from Sam.
I would recommend doing the entire party.
Okay.
I will never say no to splitting the party, but I will give you this face when you talk about it.
Because, I mean, at least given Abe's skill set, did somebody say killing a dude?
They'll, in so much as they ever surface from what they're doing in their, like, cyber world, will simply mention that we can pick up a job from the Jacks at any time.
Yeah.
So, if there's something else we want to prioritize, Vale can always get back in with the Jacks unless we absolutely fuck them over.
I can also get us back in with the Jacks, so.
I can also.
Yes. Way too many connections.
All three of us burn a bridge.
I mean, unless we want to do one for them as like a solid we're your homies, but also like they're a lot easier to be like, hey, we'll get back to you later with.
Yeah.
I will say that Remainder doesn't like my line of work. And often, I mean, they send Bob. We love Bob. But sometimes they don't send Bob, and our shit gets fucked, for lack of a better word.
Fuck those guys so hard.
What would a
Bob?
social media entertainment company have against the medical profession?
It's
Oh,
a long
honey.
story. I'll explain it to you later.
Maybe when you're older.
That was exactly the vibe I was getting.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I get that they don't have much love for your profession, but, with our use of angles, nothing to say that they need to know that you're involved at all, or are you, Vale? And I
Just
do think that
something-
having an in at that megacore is not a bad thing.
Just something to be aware of as we are looking for jobs. They might not know exactly who I am, but my name gets around in certain circles.
I mean, in fairness, my job is one that they eat alive, spit back out, and leave the bones out in the sun. So they don't have any
Sounds
love
like
for
it's
anyone.
time to take a job for squares.
Rad. So it sounds like the objectives for next week are maybe find some more vectors to investigate the briefcase by, and follow up on this strange offer from Remainder.
Yeah.
Also, side mission is to run some tests on GlitchAngle.
Yeah,
Back
test.
in my
Let me write
place.
this down. Test on glitch. And I believe that the drug that you were looking for is related to that, Vale.
Correct. I'm gonna wait till I see if I can get it in hand before I say any more about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that
So
something that Eve could make?
Given enough time, I think part of the enticement for taking time for this mission is quickly you're going to realize that the sort of tests that are going to give you useful information are tests that require more machinery, more expensive machinery, more time than you have ready access to. Having more money might help set up some of that machinery, for instance.
Copy that.
I will leave you merely with this teaser. Remainder has called you for an espionage mission. They seem very excited for you, specifically Glitch, and your up-and-coming team. It's weird that Remainder would want to hire you to break into one of their own offices. And we'll end the session there.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here for this week's episode of Midnight in the Garden of Chrome and Fog. We'll be back next week for more of this. It's going to be a little while before we need to take another hiatus. But until then, we're going to be just trucking on with the stories of these mad operators. So thank you all so much for being here. Lady Bedivere and I are going to be playing some Baldur's Gate 3 hopefully this week, if life works out, and if not, then we won't. Life do what life do. And Dragonbait and I will be playing Dead by Daylight on Sunday, which will be tremendously fun. Tune in for all of that stuff this week. I'm also playing an ancient game off of the CD-ROM that I played on as a child. I still have I cannot believe I still have this. Called Stronghold. I'll be doing that either tomorrow or Friday, depending on life and schedule. So come check that out if you like. And we're gonna find someone to raid out to, so tell them that we say hello. But until then, friends, until we meet again, I hope that your journey back through the mushroom circles is as calm and as peaceful as it is possible to be. And until we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you all very soon. Good night, everyone.